Welcome to the mess. That is my desk and my positive energy journal. I wanted to do one of the prompts for one of the months. Yay! Finally getting there. Sorry about that noise. Having to move things. I just wanted to introduce you to what I have built so far in this time that I've been keeping up with the prompts and just trying to journal. So this is the journal, which you've seen before, and the bookmark, which might change later, but for now, this is the bookmark that I'm using because it's fun. I do have a highlighter and some glue. I have different types of glue. This one tends to work with the most media. So I may have to, down the road, start experimenting and figuring out what works with what, because they all say they do, but then you get them and they're old. You know, and we're talking, I don't do like huge craft supplies. I'm talking Michael's, Target, you know, that kind of thing. I've been using these two pens, and these I bought a while ago. They're not exactly fancy, but I thought they would be nice because I did need some everyday pens. And this one, wait, is it this one? Yeah, this one is my favorite, probably favorite pen ever, the one that I will sign with. And you've seen it before. Then, oops, I took out this. This is my Slate and Stylus. The stylus, I think, is somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. But this makes for a good thing to measure with or make straight lines. That always helps. I have used Rail on some regular paper. It does work. And sometimes it holds, because it's supposed to hold the paper in place, sometimes that helps too. So I take that out, and it's metal, so it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be painted over or go anywhere, and if it is, too bad. This you've seen. And then, oops, I decided to get some highlighters. Yeah, these are the Extreme Pack because I knew I wanted to do Pride related things, and because it's just fun. I was gonna get like a really cool pencil, but I have like tons of pencils and I need to use them. And then for my washi tape, I got a pack of 12. These can be used for wrapping, which is cool. I don't do that much, but we might this year. We're getting family that's coming around. And it's just glitter and metallic, you know, solid color, not like pretty basic. And I thought, well, this would be a good idea to start with, because then I would figure out whether I wanted to actually use the washi tape, and then I'd buy the fancy ones. But for this little journal, I'm probably not going to use this stuff. I could like cut it out and make shapes and stuff. We'll see. Next, I haven't even like titled it or put anything on the front of it yet, and I still might. But I wanted to show you the first one I made because, can you see that? Yes. This. Oh my gosh, this. I wanted to glue it so that it flopped out. This is from a restaurant. This is the big highlight of February. Otherwise, February's just beginning writing, trying to figure out what I want to talk about and show. But this was February's message. I didn't want to quote it wrong. A new relationship takes on an added dimension. Wow. That was really cool, because this was the month that I really started feeling my twin flame connection, just really, really feeling it. So like, even if this isn't necessarily in a romantic way, this is really cool. And also, I have really bad luck with fortune cookies. I never get like any type of romance related fortunes. So I just thought that was super cool. I did stop at dreams, and I didn't use dreams as in what are my goals are, because I found that my goals are also long-term, and I use that less. And I left out memories because I've been going down memory lane, and it's now become a little unhealthy for me. I'm just starting to remember things and subtle things and resolve things and be happy about them. And there's a lot that I need to leave behind. So that is the reason for that. In terms of this theme, Sparkle, that's going to be what I will do with you next. On the visual that Hillary showed, it had the question, what do you do to bring out other people's sparkle? I somewhat remember her asking, what do you do to bring out your sparkle as well? Maybe that's just what goes with the theme. I'm not sure. But I'm going to answer both. And I'm going to talk about why that's a little bit hard for me. And I think for this, I am going to use a different pen. I'm going to use this one. This is one of the ones in the pack. And I don't much like pink. I like the way this writes. It's nice and dark. So let's go over here. I wish this was a glitter pen. I was gonna get glitter pens, and I know I could use my washi tape, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna write that question down. What do you do to bring out the sparkle in others? I forget how that was worded, but I think that's close enough. And I like this journal because it's small, but that doesn't leave me a lot of room. It's easier to film, and it's also easier for me to write, which is actually kind of nice. So I wrote a little bit bigger. I'm also gonna leave out outside because I kind of did that on this page with the pride section. I might do that under like notes or something though, because there was something that I wanted to talk about with outside. Oh yeah, I did write that in another pen color. Okay, good. We're going with all kinds of colors in this one. I have to tap into my own sparkle first. That's something that I'm learning. I have to. And I'm learning how to tap into a frequency that feels good for me. That is new, and I'm going to be really, really honest. And this is going to sound really strange, but I don't think I've ever been happy in my entire life, not until recently. So feelings of joy are very new for me, and they're awkward and hard because they feel wrong. They feel subtle, they feel lighthearted. I'm not used to that. And one of the things that I have noticed is that if I start to tap into feelings that are not so pleasant, I will feel it in my throat. So my twin flame connection will remind me, hey, knock it off. So I'm gonna put make adjustments to my frequency. I might put like, oh, I did. Okay, yeah. I did kind of square that off so you can tell the difference. And then after that, I'm going to definitely list meditating, because if I don't sit with those feelings, it's hard to fully bring myself in them and embody them and take them with me throughout my day. And that's, I think, partly because they are so new for me to feel. I know a lot of things bring out my sparkle. I love exploring new things. I think that's probably the key, is just having that stimulation there. I think what it really comes down to is finding inspiration. So I'm going to put finding inspiration. I hope I have enough room. And it's really hard. It's getting tight here. Exploring new things. Because that's the key right there. And then we had like muggy weather for like so long, and it was messing with our bodies, you know, our health. Like Dad had headaches, I had one, Mom was miserable, it messed with my eye strain, and then we had this like really nice weather after that. So I'm gonna put really nice beach weather, because there really isn't another way to describe it that told me movement. And that seems really strange with relax, like almost kind of like relax, the worst is over, you're gonna be moved into joy. If that's the only way I can describe quite what I felt. And that's also new for me. I'm not so good with the air element, and that's something that I'm really tapping into. And so that's a part of tapping into that lighthearted joy that is so new for me. Okay, I think we just about did everything. Oh, we didn't do the doodle. I don't even think we have room for a doodle. Damn. Okay, let me think about this. All right, I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to do a heart because I realized that the rune might count as a doodle. I don't want it to. I want it to make the journal more interesting, but I also can't think of anything else except maybe a cloud, but that doesn't really suit this particular entry. So I'm probably just going to do a little pink heart, no big deal. You know, this is working out well. That's one of the things too that I have never allowed myself to do. When I'm doing drawings on film, like it's really hard for me, and I debated whether I want to do, I guess I could do a whole bunch of hearts, couldn't I? And I wanted to do an easel situation or a stand so that I could more easily draw. I still want to do that, but it's harder to film that way. And I'm finding it a lot easier if I just do everything bigger, but that's uncomfortable for me because I was raised like you have to do all of this stuff small because your writing has to be really neat. And I don't want to go into, you know, I don't want to go into anything unhappy or anything, but that is part of that. And that's, I think, perfect for just allowing myself that place of joy of just, you know what, if it doesn't come out perfect, that's fine. Guess what? I wrote more and I did more hearts because why not? And I also wanted to show you the doodle on the other page for February. I did a seed because that's how it felt, just a seed and a lot of activity growing underground, and I thought that really suited the month of February anyway. I did abundance magic, and the reason I combined outside with pride is that I find that's the best way for me to celebrate pride because I don't have a local group yet. So I just sit out in the backyard, you know, wear my rainbows and do something that makes me happy, that reminds me that I can celebrate myself. And also because it's my birthday. That was kind of a double reason. So I didn't include certain things, I mentioned that, but what I did is I added some sections. The spirit activity I added because I had some really cool experiences, and all of my experiences getting to the rune were joyful. So the rune I picked was Wunyo, and that just suited the whole month because I almost feel like there's nothing to really talk about because it was just all good. And then I wrote more because more stuff started happening. It was funny. Like I finished this page and then I wrote another page. And I don't want to read it all to you. I might go over it next month because some of it was just I wanted to keep the writing process, but I don't really feel like it was significant. It was just important for me to keep writing. My birthday outing, I had another birthday outing too, but I should probably add that in there. I had some crispy mushrooms with this garlic herb sauce, and then there was like herbs and greens that were in the breading of the mushrooms. And this is when I went to that plant-based restaurant with my cousin, and then I had this really pretty melon cake. And the reason I wanted to talk about these things is because if you needed them described as opposed to being visual, then I could do that for you. And I was going to do a whole different video format, but I had to change that. I will definitely put the link for the birthday vlog down in the description so you can go watch it. I wanted to create slightly different content, so this is a more detailed explanation as opposed to just the visual of, of the food and the things that I felt, all of that. I did get a lot of really very thoughtful presents, and I really appreciated that. And they were all small, which is fine because I really want to get bigger stuff for me, especially if I'm really particular about it, and I really don't need anything. Like, I have a lot right now, and the things that I have helped me build the new life that I'm working on, so the new life that I am building. And then my mom took me out to this restaurant. It was like it's called a crepe shop, but it does like savory crepes, and the crepes are huge. Like, they don't even look like crepes. So it's definitely a fusion place. My crepe was the falafel crepe, and I was surprised that, and this is the detail part, the falafel part of the crepe was still crunchy. Like, it still had some bite to it. It wasn't squishy. Like sometimes, like when you leave falafels out at like one of those, buffet places or those, fast food places or like takeout, it just, sometimes it just tastes a little like, not fresh. The mint leaves were fresh. That was the finishing touch for me, was the mint leaves. And then I had a strawberry mango smoothie, which was really good. It wasn't really a smoothie though. It tasted more like juice, and that was fine, but it didn't have any thickness to it, which was kind of sad. But it was really refreshing because it was hot that day. So that was my big outings. And let's see, I also want to talk about Smoky Quarts. I worked with amethyst and all kinds of things this month, but the Smoky Quarts was the big one for what's in your pocket. And also one of my D-ring piercings was in my pocket, and I forgot about that. And I thought that was a really cool answer for that prompt. And I like that question a lot. And I think I mentioned the abundance magic. Well, if I didn't before, I am now. I was actually able to do that, and I've been waiting to do that for months. So that was really nice, and really to plan out certain things too. This was a really busy month and a very practical month. I was able to make some financial plans and some plans to get myself some new equipment. And just a lot of really cool things have come through for me. And then, what was it, yesterday, a couple days ago, I think, Mom took me out. We had already went shoe shopping, but she took me out to Nordstrom's Rack, and I found two things that I had been looking for, and I didn't get them because they sold out too quickly. And I found one of those things was cheaper, not the other one, unfortunately, but one of those things was on sale. And so she just surprised me with going, you know what, I didn't get you a gift yet, so I'm gonna get you this like right now. And then what was it? It was just so much stuff. that I didn't even get in the vlog video. So this is fantastic. This is new content. So maybe I'll just continue doing this thing where I just do a little bit more as I go along and not worry about having the whole month covered with everything. My neighbor came over with flowers and cake twice for me and my father. And my father has a birthday 2 days before mine. So we had like all these flowers blooming and cake. And mine, mom informed me, are flowers that continue to bloom. So she made sure to cut them right so that they won't rot as easy. That was so nice of her. And she lent me her beautiful vase so they sit on the coffee table in the morning. I can look at them and enjoy my coffee, which is fantastic. Yes, that is my favorite time of the day. And then the dreams were really cool too, because I had all these incredible dreams of just interacting with people and just being happy. Like they weren't about anything. They did start to shift to nightmares when I started writing this stuff, and this month got harder. There was a big shift in the middle of this month. So I'm definitely going to do these videos at the end of the month. But as I said, I'm not going to stress about, covering everything, because that was interesting. I added some notes for myself just because sometimes like there's things I forget to put down and I want down in here for very specific reasons that don't have to do with the journal. I like drawing with the highlighters, and I'm thinking for next month I might play around, because I didn't even think about it, but I could almost do the doodles and then write over the doodles, which would be really cool, not just to decorate the page, but it would be really cool to do alternatively because this is a small journal. So I might try that next month, at least one of my doodles. Like one of the things I told you about the fortune about, having having a relationship go into a new dimension or a new level, whatever it was. And one of these dreams was me with someone just totally different and just being happy. Like, there was not necessarily a huge, great romance or like a conflict, it was just me being happy with this strange person I have never met before. And that was a very strange dream and very different from mine. So that definitely was a highlight. And same thing with my spirit activity, and that's why I wanted to put that there. It was really cool watching Hillary's video of the Smoky Quarts, because I've never really heard anyone talk about working with it. I have these two pieces, and then this is the rune. This is Fancy Jasper, if you really want to know. Keeping with the crystal theme. I love these runes, and I'll talk about those in a second. I have a light colored one and a dark colored one. And the dark colored one was just really calling to me at first, and then it quickly shifted after I worked with it, and then it became the lighter one. So I was going to buy like one more piece of each if I could in the future. Now I'm not sure, so I'm going to continue working with this. And these are raw because I like working with raw crystals, especially anything in the quartz family. I like crystals raw or rough, and I'll see what the crystals decide. Maybe I won't need to buy another piece. That would be good. But these are becoming one of my favorites, and that really surprises me. I read somewhere that they are supposed to be good for discovering not the multiverse, but just discovering different dimensions and traveling to other dimensions. And I noticed that they do keep me grounded, but they keep me grounded in whatever state of mind I'm in. So for me, that means they can help me go somewhere, or adjust my frequency, go travel to another dimension if I'm ready to do that, if my whole if my soul, if every fiber of my being is ready to go there, it will. If my emotions are ready, if I'm focused, it will help me go there. But it won't, it'll kind of come out confusing if I'm not focused. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like it'll feel good, but nothing will happen. And these were also really helpful for me with my twin flame work. And I used these shifting from one side or the other. I was taught feminine and masculine on either side of the body, but it really doesn't matter. Just, one side needed more work. So I used the darker one. The darker one seemed to help a lot. I noticed with this lighter one that I almost had this vision of myself sparkling or having, I'm not sure if it tapped into the crystals inside of me or what it did, but I almost kept envisioning, I kept seeing myself just with this glowing light running through me and flowing outside of me, just a shining being. And I know that sounds like probably really strange to say, and I don't even mean that in an arrogant way, because it felt very grounded. It felt very like, it didn't feel like, I'm special. It more felt like this is who you are type thing. That's why I was thinking maybe just our true essence. And if it can truly travel to different, or help you travel to different dimensions, maybe discovering, who you are, where you came from, that might be an interesting theory. So I know that was a lot, but I think that was worth talking about, especially with this particular tag. Okay, these runes. The cool thing about these runes, and I'm trying not to make too much noise with them, I had a lot of different rune sets, and I like them all for different reasons. These, wait, let me get another one out. These are so cool, and I actually gotta thank Aries Witchcraft for these, because Aries Witchcraft recommended me the shop that I got these from. And I like these because I don't have to rely on sight. I mean, I know that it's probably smart to leave them all the same, but they are all flat on the bottom, but they're all shaped slightly differently. So I try not to cheat when I pull them out of the bag, because I'll start to memorize what rune is what. Like I've already memorized Wunyo and what the actual stone feels like. But at the same time, they really make the practice more meaningful. They really help with learning. And some of these runes, I swear, like the person that did these really thought about what chunk to use to put the rune carving in. Like that's the really cool part about them. Like when I look at this one, Wunyo, I think about stability, and it just feels like kind of like this month does. Like it is what it is, and that's what I put for the message. It is what it is. It's just joyful. Don't overthink it. Don't try to analyze it. It just is, kind of thing. And then let me see if I like this one. Maybe not so much. Let me think about a good example. Like this one obviously still feels like a square, but they all read to me energetically different, which I find really, really interesting. Like if I close my eyes and I don't know what rune this is, I do feel this brightness about this one. And then this one is a particular shape too. And I think it's interesting because if you turn it up this way or that way, there's like this pointy end. And this, of course, is like the thorn in your side. This is, what is this? Thorzas? I can't remember the runes anymore. I remember what they are and what they mean, but I forget the words and the pronunciations for this one. I'm sorry. I know that's terrible. I need to practice with my runes again, but I know most of them. And then this one, this one I know too. This one's Hagawal. So yeah, these are really cool. And I think these are really helpful for anyone that wants to learn the runes just for the first time. So even though it's nice to learn the tradition and more about how to use them in a traditional way with the wood burned flat sets that are being sold. I also like some of the crystal ones because they can help you memorize the runes. And they also make meditating with them with my eyes closed really easy and really fun because they're already tactile. And I think more than most of the runes I have, I can really feel these. I'm not as good with reading print or symbols with my hands, but these are big enough and clear enough that I can really feel them that way. So I love these. I absolutely love them. So I know that was a lot, but I wanted to go through some of the things in more detail, and some of those things were difficult to describe and talk about because it's just been such a busy month, and I'm hoping this will serve as a good introduction to some of these videos. And I'm sure over time I will get the hang of how I'm going to do the films, how I'm going to organize them, whether I'm going to just show myself journaling, likely not, maybe on occasion as I'm going through the process, or if I'm just going to talk about it. But I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to be boring, especially because I don't have a whole lot visually like some people, and I know my handwriting is like all over the place, and this journal is small. So I try to keep it neat, but it's not going to be that neat, unfortunately. That's just how I roll. So I hope that you enjoyed this. This was really a lot of fun, and I hope this will not be the last time I do this. I want to keep doing this and follow along. And I am not seeing any of your videos, so please let me know if you're doing this because I would love to watch them. I will see you next time.